Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to be talking about the issue of friendship. Um, the topic for my video today is friendship. Do you know you can be a friend without having a friend, and you can also have a friend without being one? I don't know if anybody can relate to this, and I believe everybody can at some one way or the other. You can actually be a friend without having a friend, and at the same time you can also have a friend without being a friend. What does that mean? Recently I got met somebody um, who, you know, we used to be like friendly, because one thing that people have to understand is that there is a difference between being friends and a different there's being friends and being friendly. They are two different things. I don't know if that makes sense. You can be friendly with somebody without actually being friends. That is my own definition, because I strongly believe that being friends go beyond just, you know, just seeing somebody and saying hi, hanging out together and everything. Being friendship to me is something that is much, much deeper than just, mere acquaintances. Some people call it acquaintance, but the way I simply describe it is that, being friendly and being friends, they are two different things. Oftentimes the people you're friendly with, I mean, you can see yourself, you know hanging out with them. Maybe when they have occasions, they can invite you, you go there, and you can share things, at some level. But when someone is actually your friend, that person is, you know you share things that are much more personal. The person is more like, get to a point that the person is more like a family. The person is somebody you could be loyal to. Somebody, I mean, there's this much closeness, with somebody who is your friend. But somebody you're friendly with, I mean, you share a certain level of closeness, but there's always a limit, to what you can do, or how far you can go with that individual. And for me, if somebody that I'm friendly with, is hurts me or something like that, maybe something happens, I mean, I always find a way to get around it, to remind myself that, hey, this person is just friendly with me, not really friend, that kind of a thing. Anyway, that is a topic for another day. I'm gonna make a video on that, where I'll go um, deeper in that on that very topic. But what I'm talking about today is the idea that you can be a friend without having without having a friend, or you can have a friend without being one. What that means is that, so I came across this person that I am friendly with. That's, to me, that's who the person is. She's just somebody I'm friendly with, you know, irrespective of the fact that once in a while we'll see it, we'll chat, we do things, but I don't consider her friend, so to say. So there's a level to what, everybody should have. Everyone in life should have a principle. You should have what you consider important to you. So oftentimes when it comes to friendship, for me, when somebody does not possess those qualities that makes them the qualities that I need, or maybe does not possess the attributes that I look out for in friendship, I keep them close, but not too close, if you know what I mean. So I came in contact with this person, and this person was actually like, behaving somehow. So I was a little curious. Like, okay, of course, I was curious because it's somebody that I, friendly with. So I was a little curious, and I decided I wanted to ask her, what's going on? Why you? I realized that they're a little bit cold towards me. Like, what is going on? And the response was that after pestering her for a very long time, she's like, you know what? I am so mad at you. Da, 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 da. I'm like, mad at me for what? What did I do? She said, oh, as a friend, I consider you my friend, and so thing happened. Oh, your participation was so shallow and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. Like, I understood what she was talking about. There was an incident. I reached out as somebody I am friendly with, but I didn't know she was expecting more than, like more than what I actually gave her. So that was when it dawned on me that deep down within this individual, she actually thought that I was her friend. But to me, she is just somebody I am friendly with. And she complained about a lot of things, that she's been, trying to hold it, that she wanted to talk to me, that oftentimes, I do things I don't tell her, that sometimes things happen. She was trying to bring us some personal stuff about me that probably, for instance, like maybe I'm not feeling well. There are people that like people that I will call first, like people I consider to be my friends, that I say, oh, look at what is going on, da, 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 da. Maybe eventually she will get to hear it, like, oh, she dealt with this, everything, that kind of a thing. I'm like, wait, so I that was when it dawned on me that she actually considered me like a very close friend, and she actually expects more from me than what I'm giving to her. That was when I began to, give it a thought. I'm like, okay, that makes me begin to, that's actually prompted this video that I'm making today. I believe a lot of people might be on that level where you realize that you are friends with somebody, but the person is not a friend to you. And on the other part, sometimes somebody could be a friend to you, but you are not friends. So that brought me to the topic, the title of this video, that I say, you can be a friend without having one, or you can have a friend without being one. So that was when I realized that most times this person goes out of her way to do some certain things. To me, she goes out of her way to tell me her personal issues. And to tell you the truth, most times when she comes to me with some personal issues, I feel a little bit taken aback. Like, in my mind, I'm like, hey, I don't need to know these details. And the reason is because within me, I feel like such details that she's giving should be reserved to people who are, like have close friends. Because personally, I don't consider her to be like that to me. And oftentimes, yeah, like that, I realize that she always feel, most times when she brings such things, trust me, I'm a very trustworthy person. I don't betray her. She'll bring it, I'll give my candid advice. But honestly, most of the kind of thing that she brings to me, when I have such issues, I don't go to her, because I don't consider her that to be on that level with me when it comes to friendship. So that I began to make, and then after that, then I began to experience, like begin to hear people talk about, how friends betrayed them, how friends, take them for granted and everything. And it made me begin, now that put me um, on a better viewpoint to ask people, before you actually call somebody a friend, you have to be very sure that that person is actually your friend. Because if I just yesterday, that's what prompted me to even make this video. Because just yesterday, somebody was complaining about something, and I remember that particular incident with that friendly friend of mine, and I was asking her, are you really sure that that person is your friend? She said, oh yeah, we are friends, we always hang out, we talk, so once in a while I visit her, but I visit her more than she visits me. Sometimes we go shopping together, we do things together, la 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 la. That was when I told her, I said, do you know that you can actually be a friend without having one? And at the same time, you can actually also have a friend without being one. She's like, what do you mean? So I began to explain to her, what exactly is going on between her and this individual that she's talking about. I told her that I'm talking to you based on experience. So the truth about it is that you consider that person a friend, but to her, you are not a friend. You are just somebody she's friendly with. You're just an acquaintance. So that's why you keep having this feeling of betrayal, and this feeling of neglect, this feeling of nonchalancy from her, because she's not giving you what you think you should be getting as a friend. And that is because she does not consider you a friend. Because the truth about it is that thing she's not doing with you, she is doing it actually with somebody else. Like the kind of attention you want, the kind of response you want from her on some certain situations that you don't get from her, she is actually giving it to somebody else. So the truth remains that to her, to you, she is your friend, but to her, you are not a friend. I don't know if that is making sense. Oftentimes I realize that one of the things that causes us heartbreak in life is we have not brought ourselves to the level where we actually define some certain things, when we have not actually have a clarity over something. If you don't have clarity over who you call a friend, then you keep getting hurt, because when you consider somebody who is not a friend to you, consider the person a friend, you have a high expectation from that individual. And when you have such high expectations, and when most times if those such expectations are not forthcoming, you feel bad, you feel neglected, you feel like you're not getting you feel like I don't know the word to you. The easiest word I can do is feel neglected, you feel abandoned or something like that. And oftentimes you don't really blame people, because the truth about it is that every individual, have an idea of what they want in life. But they find out that the problem is that a lot of us still do not have a clear idea of what we want in life. A lot of us still don't have a clear idea of what we want from friends. We don't have a clear picture. We've not, defined what we need from in relationships, in whatever it may be, and we don't have a clear relationship, a clear definition. Then you realize that oftentimes you expect something, and if it doesn't come, you begin to feel bad, but you need to have a clear cut idea of exactly what you want. If you are somebody that wants a friendship that you want to be sharing, maybe let's take something as simple as sharing phone calls, and you realize that you are the only one who is always calling this individual, always calling this individual, and this individual is never calling you back. Like for me, I once had a friend like that. Like it's over the time that I sat down and I began to think about these things. I said, this is actually what it is. I used to have this person I considered a friend. So I realized that most times, first of all, why you want to call a friend. Maybe there's something that come up. You want, hey, you call the friend you want to talk to, and each time you want to call, hey, how are you? How are you doing? How's your family? The next thing she said, oh, I'll call you back, and she will never call back. Maybe after a while, I'll call again, and in the course of her call, oh, I'll call you back. She never calls back. Then, this thing began to happen, but I realized that, and most times when I confront her, she'll give me this I'm too busy attitude or explanation. But I realized that there are people that she is actually very close to. Like at that point, I sat down and I began to define my relationship with this person. And it dawned on me, like I'm saying, that I was a friend to her, but she was never a friend to me. So, in a nutshell, to conclude this video, it's important for us to save ourselves some heartache. It's important for us to always come to the point where we have a clear-cut definition of what we want and what is happening around us, so that we don't get caught up in this web of pain and misery and neglect and complaints from things that are not even supposed to be in the first place. It's like we are trying to force things to happen and they are not happening. Realize that that's a lot of reason why a lot of people are not happy in relationship, and they are not getting the best out of relationships. So this is just my thought. You can just leave your thoughts at the comment section. Like I said, you know, be mindful. I'm going to make another video on explaining the signs of a true friend, true friendship, so that we'll be able to, as far as my knowledge can take me, so you can always drop your own ideas, so that we don't get ourselves caught up in this pain and misery that are not really worth it in the first place. When you're able to understand who is who in your life, then you know how best to go about it, and you know what your expectations and the levels of your expectation should be. Until next time, just want to say thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, you can always subscribe, put your questions down, make your comments, then we can take up another conversation from that. With that, I will say bye bye. Have a blessed day.